Hey friends, before we jump into today's episode, I just want to say a special welcome and thank you for joining us here on the Your Story Matters podcast. Each message is dedicated to help survivors in their healing journey. Season 1 is in full swing with surprising guests and informative shows. I'm very pumped about a new segment I'm launching called Micro Matters. These are shorter episodes released weekly as I share my personal perspectives and thoughts of the day in relation to trauma, abuse, and narcissistic recovery. Subscribe to this podcast now so you never miss a Micro Matters or all Your Story Matters episodes. All right, let's dive into today's message. Hope you enjoy. Podcast. My name is Branon Dempsey, and if you are returning, thank you so much for coming back. And if you are new here, welcome. Just to tell you a little bit about myself, I'm a childhood trauma survivor, and my mission is to encourage and help people to take their lives back. I believe that each of us have a story, and it is worth not just remembering, but it matters. Why does it matter? Because what happened to each of us has something that's been hurtful and painful. It may have been trauma. It may have been a tragic event. And in either case, we've learned how to remap our lives from that situation and from those events. And it's made us into who we are today. So if you follow me on YouTube, Instagram, Threads, Facebook, I talk a lot also about narcissism. The reason why is because I grew up with two narcissistic parent and families, and I had enough of it in my life already to deal with the abuse that I encountered at 6 years old, and to deal with all the personality conflicts, drama, and most of all the narcissistic personalities. Man, it's enough just to drive you nuts. And let me just say, narcissists suck. I mean, the fact that we have to walk on eggshells, be somebody who we're not, continually be lied to, gaslit, manipulated, it's exhausting. It really is. And to live that way since childhood, we've become we've adapted that type of not just personality in our lives, but we've adapted the way that how we respond to it and how we've built life around it, how we had to navigate and to live through this world through that kind of perspective, which hampers you a lot. I mean, I can think back of many things that I've lost out on for myself, even having the lack of confidence in life. When everybody else, every other kid seemed outgoing, I wasn't. I had a hard time fitting in, even though when I look back on it, I actually, on the outward appearance, it seemed like I fit in easily, but on the inside, it was not that way. On the inside, I hated myself because of all the lies that were told to me from the narcissists in my family. And with the abuse, it has a way of silencing you. And when we get further into our education, jobs, and careers, it really does shape the way that we behave, the way that we respond to people, the way that we trust or not trust certain situations or different types of characters in our lives. It's really just mind-altering, I would say. And so I talk a lot about narcissism because we have them. And, it's one thing to deal with a person who is outspoken and strong, and that doesn't necessarily mean that they're a narcissist. But for one who makes it their mission to manipulate and control you does make a difference. And so I'm introducing this new series called Micro Matters. And Micro Matters are little short podcasts and snippets that I put together to share my thought on abuse recovery, ranging from the physical, emotional abuse all the way to narcissism. And I really believe that narcissism is not the main root to our abuse, but it is definitely a major component of it. Not everybody has experienced narcissism. Maybe you have in some ways and didn't know it, But in terms of people who live life and maybe have not encountered abuse or have really lived underneath a narcissist, they may not have that same kind of appreciation and experience as we do. And that's okay. So my podcast, my messages are to help benefit both, because I really want to educate those that know little, they have little understanding of narcissism, and this is to help others that are maybe in the thick of it. And then secondly, of course, is to educate and encourage, empower those who have been affected. So I just want to say thanks for joining me here on this little segment intro of Micro Matters, and I hope that you come back as I share more messages. And thanks again. I look forward to having a conversation with you soon. And in the meantime, if whatever I've spoken today a little bit has encouraged you, or you have an idea of something that you like to hear, drop me a comment. Find me on any of your socials, Branon Dempsey, Your Story Matters, or if you can find a comment field somewhere and wherever that you're listening to. In fact, you can just, I guess the easiest way is just to DM me on Twitter or Threads, Instagram, at Branon Dempsey. If you just do that, then I'll get your message, hopefully. So